boys and girls, David Nussbaum at Wheels Boutique here. I'm your host for the Wheels Boutique YouTube channel. Behind me today we have two gnarly RAM TRXs. One of them is ours. One of them is a really big client of ours we've had on the channel many times before with his cars. And the reason why I have both of them next to each other is because I wanted to show you guys the two most popular wheel fitments for the RAM TRX. So let me start with my right, which would be to your left. We've got a 22-inch Anrky AM36S setup. Now, when the RAM TRX first came out, we developed the wheel fitment for it. So it's a 22 by 12 with a very negative offset. I will not give off the offset information because that's proprietary to us, but we will give you the offset information if you place an order with us. So this truck has the original fitment that we would do on the RAM TRXs, 22 by 12. Ours to my left and to your right, this used to have that 22-inch setup, and it's been on the channel before when we showcased the supercharger with turbocharger kit, which it still has.
Twin Charge TRX.
But now we went with a bigger size. So a lot of people have been trying to downsize and doing 20s on the car, but we're like, you know what? Let's do a little bit different, something a little bit different, and go with a bigger size. So we actually did a 24 by 12. So over here, 22 by 12. Over here, 24 by 12. The tire heights are nearly identical. So over here, we have the 35 by 12.5 by 22. And over here, we have a 315 45 24, which when you do the conversion over to the metric style, it is also a 35 by 12.5, but with a 24-inch wheel setup. So from a height perspective, if you pull these bad boys out and you put them next to each other, they're exactly the same height. But of course, with the 24-inch wheel diameter, your tire profile is a lot thinner than on this version. So I'll let you guys make the choice and decide on which you think looks better. So when we first did it, I almost didn't even realize that this was a 24-inch. It looks so proportional to the entirety of the truck. And then when I see this one, now that I've gotten used to the 24s, these actually look a little bit too small, in my personal opinion, for this big truck. I think this truck also, it's a little bit of a trick because you've got the ram bar, which overall makes it look a little bit bigger, beefier. So I like this setup here. We did 6 Baja design lights on there, and I'll get inside in a little bit and show you the high beams and the low beams. But we did 6, 4 for the front and 2 facing rear. Now this customer of mine has a farm in Central Florida where he has hogs and things like that there, and he wants to go hunting. So he had me in the past do a similar light setup for a Jeep Wrangler, and so on this bad boy we did the rear facing Baja design lights, so that way when he's in the bed with his rifle hunting whatever it is that he needs to hunt, that's going to help him out a whole great deal. Another thing I wanted to get into is the brakes that both of these vehicles have. Now I think I mentioned to you that we were going to show this vehicle again in that past video, so here it is. It's got the Rotora brake caliper upgrade kit, both front and rear. So does this truck. This truck has it with the red calipers. This one has it with the yellow calipers. Now, the reason why I love these Rotoras, and I mentioned it into our past video about this truck, is that it maintains the electronic emergency brake that this truck has and so many new cars have. Off the top of my head, Range Rover, G-Wagon, even the Ford Raptor, they all have electronic emergency brakes. So what that means is that it's very tricky to maintain that electronic emergency brake if you're replacing the rear rotor and the caliper. But Rotora has found a way to do it. We used to use Brembos only on the front, and then the rears didn't really match up to the front, but now we've got that Rotora, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. It also will clear a wheel if it had a 20-inch diameter. So obviously 22s here, 24s here, no problem fitting the brakes. But even if we were to go down to a 20-inch, the brakes would still clear. If we get a RAM TRX to do 20s, I promise you I'll get it on the channel again, so that way you guys can see this video and compare the two sizes and also compare the smaller 20-inch. But from my experience speaking with RAM TRX customers, I would say maybe out of 100, maybe 5 or 6 guys are wanting a 20-inch size. I really do think that the 22s and the 24s, now that I see it side by side, look a lot better. So as I mentioned, this one has the supercharger and turbocharger twin charged setup. This truck also has that. So when this client wrote in ours, he's like, I need that power upgrade. So of course we did it to this bad boy. It's a little bit dirty. I'm putting my hands on here because on this location, they're doing a lot of construction, but we wanted this here so you guys can kind of see the ruggedness of these two TRXs. So 1100 horsepower on race fuel. It's an absolute rocket. It doesn't even make sense to reach the speeds and the acceleration that these cars have. And now the deceleration with the Rotora brakes. That's probably the only weak point of the TRX right out of the box. It's plenty fast right out of the box, but the stopping power gets you a little bit concerned. So we've fixed that with the Rotora brakes. Before I depart and show you some of the lights that we did with the Baja design on this one, I also want to mention the color combination on the wheels because clients will ask us that. So I got to take off my sunglasses here. Looks like we have a polished smoke for the center face, and it looks like a polished bronze barrel. This side, we have a satin black center with the polished bronze barrel. So I think that the barrel colors are exactly the same, except the center faces are a little bit different. This, of course, being a black, is gonna be darker than the smoke. When we're talking about wheel finishes from Anrky, black is always gonna be the darkest, then the next lightest is gonna be the smoke, and then under that is gonna be the gunmetal. So variations in grays and black tones. So let me jump into this truck. That way you guys can see the setup that we did for the Baja lights, and then I'll wrap up the video in a couple minutes here. All right, so I think the car's ignition has to be on. And so we have aux 1, aux 2, aux 3, and aux 4. Now the Baja design lights have a high beam essentially and a low beam. So let me take a step out. So you've got 6 bulbs in total. When you have the high beams, it's 4 on the top. When you have the low beams, it's 2 on the bottom. So what you can do is aux 1, you're not gonna be able to see it here because we're not in front of anything, but aux 1 is gonna be the high beams for the front. Aux 3 is gonna be the high beams for the rear. And then let me see if you could do all 4 at the same time. Oh yeah, that's pretty blinding. So I'm gonna have Marvin get out so that you guys can see the different light versions while I toggle through the buttons here. So I know for a fact that those lights were working because when I was watching Marvin from the driver's seat, I saw him squinting, and we're out here on a very sunny day in Miami, Florida. So I think that this truck is gonna be one of the favorites for this customer. I've done probably a couple dozen cars with him over the years, but he really likes his trucks. Let me know what you think in the comment section. If you prefer it to have more of the rugged off-road look where you've got 22s with the bigger tires, the Ram bar and the Baja design lights, or if you prefer kind of like, you know, the mall crawler version of it where you've got big boy 24s and none of the Ram bar or anything like that. So just pure from Wheels Boutique to home to mall and back. So and again, don't forget these things are 1100 horsepower. So right behind me we've got over 2000 horsepower. So absolutely insane. I was also kidding with my friends. I've been actually re-watching Narcos season 1 and 2 on Netflix, and if Pablo Escobar was still alive today, I feel like we would see a video of him in something like this with the Ram bar and the Baja design lights. So again, let us know what you think in the comment section, which one you like better, the black version or the white version. Make sure you comment, subscribe, like our channel, hit the bell icon. That way every time we post, you guys get a notification. So I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get back in the AC here, let Marvin do the same because it is a scorcher, as I always say, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. See you later.